Hello. I think we are live. I don't do this often. I haven't done it in a while. So as people join on, please tell me if we're live, if you can see me. Oh, wait, I see Kelvin. Okay. Kelvin, request to be in this. There. Let's see if it worked. Where's Bailey? Oh, there she is.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
great. How are you doing?
Good. Let me just see if I can add Bailey. If you can give us a request. I love it. So, oh wait, there it is. Look at that. Accept. This never does this for me, so I'm all here for it.
Yeah, it seems like it's going pretty smooth. There we go. Boom.
Oh,
Hey, Bailey.
don't jinx us yet, Calvin.
All right.
Hey, Bailey.
Hey y'all, how are we doing?
Great.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see your face. I'm so happy to be connecting with you again.
I know, and Kelvin, we have yet to meet, but I'm so excited to have the conversation and meet you tonight. I've been one of your followers, so I feel like I do know you in so many ways.
Yeah.
So thanks for being a part of tonight.
Of course, of course. Yeah. Thank you all for having me.
And
Hey, Bailey.
I have to.
Hi,
I have
Kelvin.
to-
You're
have to
serving me
admit,
a moment in the screen. I was just
that's
like
what I
taking
was
it
about
in.
to say. I mean, we've got the neon lights. I need to step it up. We've got the neon lights with Bailey. And Kelvin, I have to admit, so I'm such a fangirl because I am also like, I am a gardening nerd and I love it. I may or may not be a part of a Facebook group called Addicted to Gardening. So
Okay.
I'm like, you're like hitting my love language very much. So I love
That's
it
good,
so much.
yeah.
I found so much peace and stillness in it. But yeah, so we're so excited. Welcome everyone for coming tonight. It's so great to see so many of you on here. We are talking all things new year, not a new you, with these two amazing humans. So I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So Kelvin, why don't you kick us off?
All right. My name is Kelvin Davis. I am a body positive gentleman that influences, models, write books, does all the things positive to make people feel good. And I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I have two daughters. My oldest daughter will be 11 next week. So I feel
Happy
old.
birthday.
Yeah. Like
I'm going to have a 10-year-old in a month. So I'm with you. I'm
wow.
right there with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And my youngest daughter is 6. And yeah, I love being a father. I love being a human father, dog father, and a plant father. I love it all. You know what I mean?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
All right, Bailey.
Beautiful. Well, hey y'all, I'm Bailey. I am a Redondo Beach, California based curve model and content creator. But I originally was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. So love the mountains, love the beach. I, similar to Kelvin, look to just spend my days like spreading as much positivity and joy and kindness as possible through both my platform and anyone I can connect with, both in social media and real life. And I just, I love, sharing kind of my journey to confidence because I think it's a lot different than others and probably something we'll get to talking to about today. But, I just really love sharing like my real, raw and relatable every day because I think, authenticity is a beautiful foundation for an unapologetic life. So that's what I'm about and what I love doing.
I mean, just deep exhale because it's so refreshing to watch both of you on Instagram. And, Bailey, we've had the pleasure of working together a few months ago. And, it's just been even like the littlest things. And we'll talk about it here in a minute. But, the other day you like shared your messy living room with like the racks of all your fabulous clothing. And it's just in a space of Instagram that can be so filtered. It's so nice to have human beings like you guys that aren't so like, this is all like I have a perfect full length mirror and a perfect background. And it's, life is a hot mess. So, diving into our topic of new year, not a new you. And like, I resonate so much because I think years ago, I wrote a blog post with this title, right? And because 11 years ago, I was in treatment at New Year's Eve. And I just remember sitting there vividly on the bed knitting, because as one does when they're in treatment, everyone learns to knit in eating disorder treatment, or I'm guessing any kind of treatment. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Tomorrow means jack. in like the scheme of my life as it stands right now, like tomorrow's another day of treatment. So why have I always just hung my hat on this notion that because the calendar and the year changes, I'm going to suddenly like poof be this like different person and human being, when I knew damn well tomorrow I'm still going to be knitting on this couch in treatment. So I kind of carried that with me as like my baton into like not giving a whole lot into the BS around like the January marketing. But what do you guys think in terms of that new year, new me? Like, what does that mean to you? Bailey, I'll let you kind of kick us off first.
Sure. Yeah. So honestly, it's kind of ironic because we had, talked about like doing this call previously to when I even kind of started about like thinking about the new year and kind of what that meant for me. And I have to be honest in that this is the first year that I kind of finally like put my own foot down for myself and being like, I'm not doing the resolution thing. I'm not going to be, pressured into all of like the goal setting and if that doesn't feel right for me, if it aligns with me, amazing. But I'm not going to put myself in, the box just because I felt like I need, I'm pressured to do so. And I just read a post about this, yesterday or the day before, how the first like 9 days of my year were the most I felt like myself in months. And it was genuinely like transformative because I wasn't moving my body because I was doing a 75-day challenge or because I was committing to a diet plan. I was doing it because it felt good and because I wanted to dance in my living room. And, I was making choices with much more intention as opposed to committing to, timelines and pressures that made me feel like I was going to be immediately set up for failure. And it's just genuinely like transformative is the best word I can think of, because I think sometimes, as influencers, as creators, we believe, because we have this platform, like we always have to like know everything. And, we're never like, we're settled in like where we are. Like it's the complete opposite. We're always growing. We're always learning. And I've learned so much in just these last, few weeks of really like letting myself push past those expectations and just like being free in what feels right for me right now. And that just feels, I can't even describe the feeling because it's a completely new way of living for me, honestly.
I love that. And I love because, we all get peeks into our lives with social media and how you just show up and, y'all have that Oculus virtual reality. My son just got one and I was like, oh, she's doing like, body. I was like, that looks like a really fun way. And I think that the more that we can change the dialogue around, obviously this time of the year, everyone is marketing, Noom's not a diet. Oh, spoiler alert, it is. Yeah. And that we can push like body movement that feels good and showing up in our space. And I just love how you're so real and vulnerable and like who you are and showing up for you and saying like, my body hurt today. It needs to rest today. I think there's I just applaud that so much. So Kevin, what do you think about new year, new you and all of that? And I am also curious how that translates as a fellow parent and plant and dog parent. How does that translate for you to kind of shine that to your girls?
For sure, yeah. Like especially as a father, like raising two daughters, I want to set an example that you don't have to feed into what society tells you what you have to look like this whole new year, like you'll see all these magazine covers about like you like 10 ways to do this or that, and I want to preach to my daughters that exercise is a celebration of what your body can do and it's not a punishment of what your body looks like. Preach. You know what I mean? So it's like I've always felt in that way. It's like a celebration of what your body can do for you. Like your heart can beat, your body can move, all these things. Like you're alive, you're breathing, and not focus on so much of like, am I going to look like this in 10 weeks? Are you going to feel good in 10 weeks internally? And that's like the biggest thing is I feel like people put too much emphasis on what you want to look like in the new year. But I feel like every day should be a new you in the sense of like you should grow mentally and spiritually and really like learn to accept yourself and accept the people around you and to really like just spread all kind of positivity and love to the point where you in a way like believe yourself and you like put that into your own body like spiritually and you are moving forward and proceeding with these actions that aren't punishment for your body, because I feel like people put a lot of punishment on their body when it
Yeah.
comes to the new year, and they want to go extra hard and do all these fad diets and do all this like kind of, I don't want to use the word crazy, but it is pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Like
No, that's
yeah,
a good
yeah,
word. Good word.
yeah.
Hmm.
Like do these crazy things that in the long run are just going to stress you out. You know?
Yep. I mean, it, all of this is just massive marketing ploys, right, by the diet industry and really preying on folks' insecurity, because all that is setting people up for failure to continue in that rat race. So I think the more that we can do and live by kind of how you guys are showing every day, day in, day out, like this vulnerability and settling into like who you are. And, you know, Kelvin, I'm curious into like what was your journey into settling into that lane and finding that joy, you know, best smile on Instagram, joy,
Yeah,
but not that false joy, right? Not that
of
like,
course.
I'm going to smile and everything is perfect, you know, but just that real sense of deep gratitude while also embracing what is real in your life and going at your own pace. Like, how did you find your stride in that?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, so when I first started my like blog and stuff, I didn't smile in any of my pictures.
Mm.
And I didn't smile because subconsciously I was insecure. I was like trying to, you know, show my best self and like show that I could wear these different outfits and show that I can color coordinate, which, you know, I've always been into art, into fashion. So I was confident in the fact that I knew how to dress, but in
Right.
front of a camera, I was a little not shy, but I was like I was unconfident. I wasn't sure how to pose. I
Mm.
wasn't sure how to, you know, really stand and how to like elevate myself. And one day, my photographer just got a candid photo of me like laughing at something that somebody said across the
Oh,
street. And the photo, like, it brought a lot of joy to me. I know that might sound selfish, but I like,
no.
I like
No.
look, I like looked at the picture. I was like, dang, I feel like this picture radiates joy. Like I feel like very
Damn
happy in the
right.
photo, and it was a moment of like pure happiness, you know. So I was like, maybe I need to start like actually, you know, finding happy moments mentally and
Hmm.
actually smiling in my pictures, and maybe you know that will bring out the confidence, and I'll feel better. And that's just how it like started. Like the whole best smile on Instagram, like I would just like smile, like genuinely, like be thinking about happy moments, like thinking about my daughters or thinking about something that one of my old students did, because I used to be a middle school art teacher. I taught art for 8 years.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I taught art from 2010 to 2018, and I like had so much joy from like different students, like different things that they would say to me, and I would just like keep that in like a mental confidence bank, you know,
Yeah.
and it would like help me smile, help me be more confident, and I just like I actually have like a camera album like that's on my phone that is kind of like it's kind of like a dialogue or like I don't know what to do. What do you call it? A camera album that's dedicated to like moments that like I was genuinely like thinking about happy moments, and I can tie it
Oh,
back to like a moment that happened in my life, and it like kind of brings me joy to look at it.
I
You know?
I love that. I think everyone tonight and whoever watches this can take that as a takeaway of a to do, right? Of the homework of put pictures in your albums that bring you joy that you can, you know, click on easily. But I just, I like want to also reiterate, like saying that picture brought you joy is not selfish. I think that's beautiful. We live in, you know, our Monday night, you know, at the Alliance, we have free therapist-led virtual support groups. In our Monday night support group, we were talking about this human being shared beautifully, bragging about, rightfully so bragging is not a
Yeah.
bad word, and saying, I'm really proud of myself. I give myself a lot of grace. And I just thought, hot damn, yes. Like,
Yeah.
we need more
We
of
are
that,
allowed to celebrate ourselves.
right? We
For
are
Mhm.
sure.
allowed
Yeah.
to celebrate who we are, and that if a picture brings us joy, because society has programmed our heads not only to go to war with our body, but to go to war with our selfie or our picture, that we have to filter, that we have to do this, do that.
Yeah.
And it's effing exhausting. It's so exhausting because, and that's why I just adore both of you, is because in a world that's so filtered, you guys are so real. And Calvin, you bring such like a unique, like just joy, like the genuine joy. And Bailey, like you just, again, show up so vulnerable. And I just wonder, like, what has been your road to pushing past that insta perfect influencer model, in this realm of like the gender normative, like female influencer look, having to always have it together, because you like show the ins and outs of your sweet husband who's a precious pilot, and he brings you Duncan back, and like messy house, and like all of these great things. And I'm like, yes, girl, like me too. I mean, my husband's on he's a golf instructor, so I mean, but not same, but like same.
I feel
so
you. I feel you.
I'm going like, oh my God, I can like wholeheartedly relate to this, and I love this, and I appreciate this. So like, what has been your journey? How did you go from Bailey that like, I want to do this, to like, you're doing it?
I love that question. And I genuinely appreciate it, because like for anyone watching, like McCall and I connected first on a call, but we like chat a lot outside of that now.
Yes.
It's just like interacting with each other's platforms. And
Calvin, we're adding you to our group text. Calvin, you're now added.
Yeah.
We've now got a group text.
Yeah. Like this perfect example, like, do not be fooled by my cute neon sign. Like there are, clothes sitting everywhere in my house. Like I live in a small space, and one of the things I always say is that I make big dreams happen in small spaces.
Love it.
And it's important for me to, like, as you can see, the reason I got this sign, like when my platform kind of started growing, it's always been my mantra, and it always reminds me that being bold doesn't have to be like just about the big moments, but it's also about the small ones. And so the first thing like I want to say about my journey and how I got here is that it's been incredibly messy and incredibly imperfect, and it continues to be. But for me, something I talk about a lot is meeting myself in the moments. One of them is today, honestly. Like I woke up really exhausted today. I spent like the last couple of days shooting and creating, and I was on the road. And as a pilot wife, I travel a significant amount, both for like personal trips and work trips with my husband, work trips for modeling and my own business. And so I often, would really beat myself up on days like today, where it's like I would wake up tired, whether it was physically, mentally, both.
Right.
And,
Totally.
push myself into like these consistent like spirals of, okay, well, no, like we have to hustle, we have to grind. Like that's what you do. That's how success works. And now I meet myself in these moments, and I woke up today and, worked from bed, because that's what I needed for my body and my soul.
Amen.
And I even like had this is once again, like if you are a part of my community or are going to come say, hey, you won't see the perfect influencer perspective. You'll see my genuine day to day. Like I had a, sponsored partnership that I'm really passionate about that was supposed to go live today. First thing this morning, I emailed the brand and said, hey, you guys know that my entire platform surrounds authenticity, and I don't feel comfortable sharing this today because it's just not where like my heart is today, because I am in a place where I need to rest. I need to, like only commit to the things that I have the capacity for today. Mm-hmm. And those are the kind of people that I'll like say yes to working with and things like that, because I always need to make sure that it aligns with where I'm at in my everyday. And so it was the same thing with like, I picked a sweatsuit jumpsuit to wear in this live, because I was like, I'm not going to go put on like a sparkly number, even though I love a bold, moment and a great fit. Like that's not where I'm at today. So this is where I'm at, and Calvin's, kicking it.
Calvin's bringing it with the blazer. I love it.
But like, I didn't come on here and compare myself to Calvin. I celebrated the moment that he was having, but it really, the journey for me has truly been about that. I've been, stepping away from the comparison and taking a hard look at myself. And, when I'm looking at my day to day and that like daily growth, like what am I creating? What do I want to be known for? And that kind of led to my confidence journey, because it really had me ask myself, like, why do I feel like confidence is so tied to only body image? Like for me, it's tied to how do I show up for myself and others? How do I, it has like all of these different pillars for me that I could go on and on and on about. But it's so, it's so connected to like my physical well-being and my mental well-being. It's all connected, and there's a much grander scheme and a grander growth beyond beyond our body image, which is something that I've always loved about the Alliance and about your platform is just that ability and like vulnerability and honesty to expand on what we were never really open to growing up, which is exactly why I started.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yes to all the things. And well, first, if anybody has questions, please feel free. I totally got so excited and dove into this with you guys. Yeah. But if anybody has questions,
a couple of shout outs. I appreciate you all. Hi, I love you.
I know.
There were a couple
so many sweet
comments.
Y'all's community is showing up. So if anybody has questions, please put them in the comments, and I will ask. I just got way too carried away and excited. But yes, and I agree, Bailey. I think that, like I said, society programs our brains to go to war with our bodies. The eating disorder programs our brains to go to war with the bodies. And it also, in both sides of the coin, they tie up body image into this total physical appearance of who you are. And if you dig a little deeper, you're going how do I feel today? And it's beautiful to hear you kind of have that connection with not just your body physically, but who you are, and saying I need to rest. I need to work from bed. I can't show up authentically for this brand today, so I'm gonna wait. And that's what makes you, and that's what makes people. I feel like authenticity of being vulnerable and who you are is such a magnet. And as we're kind of talking about this new year, not new me, so much of that is tied into trying to be something that we're just really not. We're just in this rat race of society trying to fit all these boxes where we're not supposed to fit in these boxes. But there is something to say about setting goals or having a word. People have such a wide range of what, maybe not even a new year, but a new day, right? I even hate new year, but a new day. What does that look like? Kelvin, what does it look like for you? Are you someone that sets goals? Are you someone that has a mantra? What does that look like for you?
I do set goals. I set goals mostly about how I want to do in my career field and how I want to really impact people and myself day to day. So I kind of live by that pay it forward mantra every day.
That's mine.
I know that sounds cheesy, but that's the way.
No, that's mine. Done. That's literally my mantra.
Yeah. So my dad has always I've seen him always be the example of paying it forward for people, and I've seen how it's played out for him in his life, and how much how much joy is brought him, and how many things that whenever he's in need that people do for him. And it's almost it's the true resemblance and definition of you get what you put into the universe. And that's what I truly feel every day. That's what I try to just put out, positivity and good vibes into the universe. So when it's my turn and when I'm having a bad day and I need it, somebody else on Instagram, even or even as simple as something as when I scroll through my news feed and I see something that brightens my day. It's almost serendipitous that this person posted this on this day, and I feel it's not for me, but it's for me. You know what I mean? It helps me boost up, helps me feel good about my actual self, and that's what it's all about for me. Every single day, I think about what's something that I could do to make somebody else feel better, and just as it could be as simple as opening up the door for somebody, or and people always think it has to involve money. It doesn't have to involve money, you can pick up trash, you can do anything to help anything, you could just help out, right? So it's not about really what you could do monetarily. It's about what you could do for people emotionally, spiritually. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I resonate so much with that. I mean, McCall knows this, but I say I like to go sprinkle kindness around it's confetti, and I totally align with that, because I'm the same way. I'm just whether it's smiling at a stranger, that was honestly something I really missed these last couple of years with masks and everything, is just being able to connect with a human. You have no idea what people are going through, and it's a beautiful thing to know I hope that person felt seen today, like even if it was like the smallest thing, you know. So I just
For
had to say
sure.
that. I think that's so beautiful, and like I love your words.
Thank
No,
you.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, because it is, you know, Kevin, like you said, it's not about money, and it's about when you're checking out at a grocery store, I always put my phone down and make eye contact and
Mm.
say, "How are you? Are you having a
For
good day?"
sure.
Like, it's those little things that it's not only that I hope that I'm filling their cup up a little bit that day, but it's filling my cup up because it's any kind of like just human interaction and just saying thank you, saying, you know, hi, hello, whatever it might be. And I love that you're a goal setter. You know, that's something that I struggle with, you know, being totally honest. Like I struggle to set goals because I still have that in my kind of eating disorder brain that, you know, don't set goals because you might fail. I have that very, I'm a recovering perfectionistic, right?
Yeah.
Perfectionism, like is just rooted so deep. And my husband, who is a professional golf instructor, and he's teaching all these big wig golf people, and like that's their whole thing is all goals. So he is so goal oriented, and it's such an aspiration for me to constantly say, like, okay, I can set small goals for myself, or but for, you know, but I also resonate with like it's just every day, right? Showing up, paying it forward. And I started Southern Smash, this crazy scale smashing right there.
Amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
coming to a neighborhood near you. You know, we travel around and smash scales, and you know, we joined in with the National Alliance for Eating Disorders in 2019, and I started to pay it forward for the people that helped me on my recovery journey. So anybody that says pay it forward, I'm like, yep, right here. But you know, I think, and I guess so, Bailey, this, you know, kind of same question, because I love hearing from so many different folks, especially amazing people like you guys, of what that like goal setting kind of looks like. And, you know, Bailey, again, for you, like having those small positive changes and sprinkling the confetti, like, are you the goal setter? I know you love to sprinkle the kindness and confetti and you're so amazing at it, but what does that look like for you?
Oof. So, you know, this is the first year in a while that I did not get a planner for the year.
Ooh,
I
ooh,
know. I decided that for me personally, it just wasn't working. And I think
okay.
Yeah.
that, you know, McCall briefly mentioned, so I am married to a commercial pilot, and our schedules, so his schedule is month to month, mine is often week to week, and so it's challenging. It comes, you know, there's no real like consistency or structure
Yeah.
with our life. And just now, 3 years into my business, for the first time ever, like we had a conversation last week where I kind of figured out how I could, you know, try to implement a little more structure with like to make my job, because it's something I've been talking about like in therapy. Like I need to find, just even if it's like an ounce of something, to feel like I have a little bit of structure to my months.
Totally.
But I think that's why the planner didn't work for me personally, is because I was like putting things in my day to day, and then my schedule would change. I mean, this happens with
Yeah.
modeling with me all the time. Shoots get moved, content live date gets moved for me, whatever it is. And so I was constantly like, I liked to write with pen in my planners. I
So
was
white
yep,
out.
like the drawing, and
I have
but I
mine right here.
was feeling like the new year, new me existential pressure of like, well, it's January, like gotta get all my new markers and my planner out and conquer the world. Like,
Yeah.
and it just made me feel so, it was so immense. Like it just, like we've been talking about, I think the statement is just a core of a lot of this, is like a setup for failure. It didn't work for me. And I think that in turn made me feel like, well, am I like even more of a failure because it didn't work for me? No, I am just operate differently than someone else, and that's okay. So what I've been kind of doing this year, something that's helped me, is I do like to set goals, but like I'm not putting timelines on them. Like I'm like, if I want to read some books this year, cool,
Right.
I'm gonna read some books, but like it's not gonna drastically change my life if I like only read 29 and not 30. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna change my life if I don't do it by July 15th. Like,
Oh my
I
God.
just, that timeline does not work for me. And so,
It
but then
stresses me
realizing
out.
that, like, right, like it
Yeah.
stresses me the F out, and then I don't do any of it because I'm like, this is absurd. Like, oh my God, I'm not gonna reach it in 3 months because I forgot about it for the last 2 weeks. So like, screw it all together. Like, it just
Yeah.
does not work for me. And so if anything, I've started trying, like setting, you know, I have actually a list right next to me that I was working on today, ironically, of like personal and professional goals, but like they don't have timelines. Like they're just thoughts. Like I'm, you know, thoughts that I have, things I want to do, things that make me happy and that are passionate. And something I did talk about with the new year is like, there are also things that I feel like if I wake up one day in March and I'm like, today is the day I'm going to write a new chapter in the book that I want to write, then that's the day I'm going to do it. It doesn't need to be like starting in January. We can start something, you know, anytime we want to. Like it's we're never going to be ready. It's a matter of figuring out when that time might be for you. And sorry, I know I'm saying a lot, but one more thing I wanted to mention.
No, please keep saying all the things.
Me a lot too is since I do have a very unstructured life, and just like the timing and the planning and all of that kind of stuff is difficult for me. Something I've been doing is studying and recently introduced is time blocks, which has so it gives me it gives me a little bit of structure in my day, which for someone as a creator is also very difficult because as like a business owner and stuff, I can never turn my brain off because there's always things to do. So now, you know, I set a block and I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on like this caption for, you know, this campaign or this photo or whatever for an hour. And I did this last week and the hour ended and I wasn't done because I couldn't like, I just wasn't feeling it. Sure. But instead of beating myself up and being like, oh my God, I didn't finish in the hour, I set it down for the day and I was like, I will come back to this tomorrow. And I felt so refreshed. It was like to be able to just kind of like turn that off. And of course, this like, I want to note, of course, we all have like deadlines for things and all these things. These can be implemented with that in the sake that like sometimes I will tell a brand now, like, hey, I know myself and like I'm going to give myself an extra day here when setting like a timeline with you guys, because there might be a day where I need to do exactly what I just mentioned with the time block, where it just wasn't flowing for me creatively. And so I'm like, okay, I don't need to stress myself out about this anymore. I'm going to take the night. I'm going to come back to this tomorrow, and that's okay. And it's like coming to terms with that has been an immense game changer for me with like goals and just day to day, not feeling like the whole world is on your shoulders.
Yeah. Kelvin, I'm sure you can probably relate to that. And then how do you balance that with being a dad?
Oof,
I'm going to start taking some of Bailey's advice here and like really like do a time block, because I feel stressed all the time when it comes to like creating content and like making these deadlines. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I always have to be perfect.
It's a lot.
So I'm going to definitely take Bailey's advice. Like that was pretty moving. Like I really want to adopt that like time block thing, you know what I mean? And like really feel out how you feel throughout your day, you know? Because I always feel like sometimes I feel like I force myself to do photo shoots and I force myself to do things that necessarily at the moment I'm like, okay, I would much rather like, you know, do something else for my mental health, like color or paint or go on a walk, you know what I mean? But
or water
force
your
myself,
plants.
or water my
feed your plants.
Sometimes I just sit here and just look at them, you know. I just
they're so pretty. They're so pretty.
You know, you know. So it's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to adopt that. But as far as being a dad and like trying to balance everything, I could do a lot better at trying to balance everything. I feel as though
we all could.
Yeah,
you're good. Solidarity.
Yeah. I feel as though like my daughters understand that I'm a pretty like career goal-driven person. I'm very like much like I want to do this and this and this and this, and they know that like a lot of what drives me is like me wanting them to be proud of me and to be like, you know, like that's my dad, like you know, it's like really be like motivated to like see an example of like a person that gets up every day and makes stuff happen for themselves and be positive about it and be happy. And you know, I feel like sometimes I need to, you know, just take a step back and, you know, have a moment with them and like, you know, and have more moments that I can cherish rather than like, you know, trying to push through the day and like make dinner, then do this and do that. I got to take them to gymnastics, this and that. I wish I could just be like, you know what? Let's not go to gymnastics today. You know, let's get
solidarity
a burger and like a milkshake and let's just like talk about the way we feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do.
You know, so I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing some time blocks. I'm going to start, you know, and not doing things that if in the moment I'm like, I want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you have Kelvin, do you have like any morning or evening routines to like keep you grounded?
I do actually. So in the morning, I get up. The first thing I do is I turn on First Take. It's ESPN first first take.
You and
I
my
like
husband would get along great.
I like it because like it gives me like background noise, and plus I can like keep up with whatever happened on the night prior. And I like look at my plants. I like literally will stand here. I'll look at my plants, and I may sound crazy, but I'll talk to them.
I'm like,
how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you look gorgeous. Oh, you look at you growing a new leaf. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, you know, kind of like build. And then after that, I'll make some coffee, and then I'll take my dog on a walk, and I listen to this song every morning. It's called Everything is Embarrassing by Sky Fiera. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's like a very feel good, like almost like a 90s like popish vibe.
Okay.
And it just gets me going. Like I'll start walking, I'm strutting, you know, I'm like, I feel great, you know what I mean? Yes. And then I'll come back here, and I've made it honestly a goal, not a goal, but I've made it to myself where I will not look at my email or open Instagram until after 10.
Good. Damn it. How do you do that?
It's very hard. Especially at first, because like the first thing you want to do is grab your phone and be like, I want to look at, you know what I mean? Like, you know. So I had to like.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
okay.
I had to like program my brain. Don't do it until
take
after
notes.
10.
Yep.
Yeah. Like taking notes over here. Time block. Don't open Instagram.
It's
okay.
literally.
And so then when it comes to the evening, I feel like I need to set more boundaries towards the evening, because I feel like I would look at emails till like 12 o'clock at night. Right. You know, I'd be like, I don't need to be doing this. Like, I could be doing anything else, you know? So at night, in the evening, I need to do a little better about setting boundaries. But in the morning, it's like serene, you know? It's like the sun is shining. It's just,
well, I mean, 1 out of 2 is not bad.
Yeah,
as we say that, my massive English bulldog just barged through my door.
I was like, either a kiddo or a dog is coming through there.
It is Elsa the bulldog that is like a 50-pound bowling ball. But Bailey, I would love to hear, because we did actually have this question. Like, what do you have anything to like ground your morning or evening? Like, you know, we know the time block. I think that's a great takeaway for everyone. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, yeah, I mean, to backpedal off like Kelvin's note, that's recently something I started doing as well. Is I find my mental health takes a drastic turn when I don't grab my phone first thing in the morning. It is
damn it, guys, damn it.
Yeah, it is huge. I'm telling you, it is huge, and it's so hard. And you know, something that's a huge actually obstacle for me with this is sometimes, you know, my husband's on the road half the time.
Right.
So, you know, I'll get up and like I have to set that double boundary of being like, okay, I'm gonna get up. I either know he's like already in flight, or maybe he's at a hotel. So like I'll do a check-in, and then it's like, okay, I have found myself, I like to read a little bit in the morning, so I'll either like read or journal with my coffee. And this is where I think a really important note for me comes in with like the everyday of, you know, morning routines and goals, and just exactly what we're talking about, like the yearly, monthly, daily pressures of like how we need to do things. Is I found myself, there have been a lot of things over the years on my platform that I've implemented that have just like really sparked in the moment that I'm like, I did these coffee pours because I'm a huge music lover too. Like wait, you know, in the mornings I like that's the first thing I do is put on like a good playlist, because even if I'm gonna read, I need like some music background. So we don't grab the phone, we put on a good playlist, we have the coffee, we read the book. If we're on the road, it's more of like I usually try to like get outside for a little bit. So point being, even like my morning routine looks different because I really don't have a structured lifestyle. So I would find these little ways, like the coffee pours I would do in the morning with a new song every day with the monthly playlist I make, to be like, okay, I do those every morning. But then I even found myself with that being like, well, what if I wake up one morning and I'm with, you know, family or something, and I don't really want to get on media until like afternoon, and then I've missed the morning. Oh, well, I've let people down. Oh, well, and then I found all these other like internal dialogues coming on of like pressures. And so I finally have like been like, it's okay to even have an intention, you know, that you might not meet every day. And that's where a lot of like my meet myself in the moment comes in, is like, we can set all the goals, we can set all the morning mantras, we can set the routines, but like at the end of the day, like life is going to happen. As a parent, I am sure like there are mornings where something unexpected happens, with your kid, with your husband, whatever it is, that you're like all of a sudden, oh dang, I didn't do that thing this morning. And the game changer there for me, for like my mental health, to maintain that, is not to beat myself up for missing it or feel like I let myself down, but to do that mindset shift of, I couldn't make that happen today, and that's okay. I'm learning through it. I'm meeting myself in the moment, you know, and we move forward. But like spending our time dwelling on that is only going to push us further back.
Yes. And I love that you said that, because, you know, as I asked the question, I also want to give an asterisk, and I didn't even have to because both of you did, of what fits for one person does not fit for someone else. And what fits for one person isn't what they do every day, day in and day out. And there's always, well, hell, there's always going to be room for growth. I mean, let's be honest. But it's just about, I feel like so much especially in this place of like, new year, pick a, you know, like pick a routine, wake up at 5 and meditate. I'm like, wake up at 5? No, I've had like both kids, a dog, a cat in my bed. I'm like, Mama's tired, you know? And so it's that, it was so funny. Reese Witherspoon, who I love, and I think she's very real, but she posted this great thing the other day, and it was like just these 5, like drink more water, like read a book, like these, like nothing outlandish, like meditate for an hour, do anything like that. But then Ina Garten came in and was like, here's my top 5. Drink more Cosmos, lay down, you know, and it was just like, what, like she was like, Reese, I love you, but no, you know, and I was like, this is what the world needs, is like that kind of black and white, and the gray in between is this beautiful balance. And I think the more that we can put that out there, just because it's a new year doesn't mean you have to like wake up and carpe diem. Like I wake up and like I'm hanging on by a thread, like literally day in and day out. And so, and that's just kind of like my life. And I know it's you guys too. And so, first of all, I can't believe we're like at the end, out of time. I could talk to you guys all night. All night. For sure. But I just, let's end with this, because I feel like it's great. If you could kind of pick a word, I'm not even gonna say for the year, but maybe for the week, maybe for like the season. I love the word season. Like I'm in quite a season. I don't even do, like with my kids right now, we're kind of in a tough season.
The season.
And and they're in a season. And so that's what I like to call it. So I feel like for right now, not even the new year, but for the season, whatever season you're in your life, what's like a word or something, it might not be a word, something that just speaks to you in your season right now? Kelvin, let's start with you, and then Bailey.
I have to say, honestly, the word protect comes to mind. Like, protect your peace, protect yourself, protect others. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you can protect your peace, you can internally bring yourself more happiness and not have much anxiety. You can protect your others and yourself by wearing a mask and doing all the things you're supposed to do to help stop the spread of COVID. You know, so you can like use protect for like a lot of different things. And you can protect yourself financially by like maybe, you know, not spending so much money on things that you don't need, you know. And just like, I feel like protect is like a really good word to, you know, it's like a mantra that I'm going to like live by, you know what I mean? Like protect my daughters at all costs, protect my peace at all costs, you know what I mean? So,
and what I hear protect, and I'm like, boundaries. Like protecting your boundaries and your boundaries in relationships in life.
Of course.
Okay, mind blown. Chill chart.
I mean,
Bailey.
Literally, when you said that, I was like, well, I'm out, because wow. I mean, so beautifully said, and honestly so relatable right now. And it's so fun. Of course, McCall, we're aligned, because that I also immediately thought of boundaries, which was like, I was initially thinking of my word, I picked a new one, but like that has been very just relatable for me this last year. Like, I think just gentle reminder out there that like, regardless if you're a creator, you're whoever, like even someone who shares literally like every authentic moment online, there are still things you're not going to see in my day to day. And so a gentle reminder that like everybody is going through things, you know, that we don't see. One of them for me this last year has been like a familiar relationship that is requiring a lot of boundary setting. That's been really, really hard on me. And so, yeah, I think boundaries, and just hearing you say like protect your peace is like, it hit me so hard. Which is why like my word is going to be, just be, like not the bold, just be. Because that's what I'm trying to do more of right now, is just to be, not to plan, not to, you know, push myself in places that I don't feel that are necessary right now, you know, to be. And to, I feel like sometimes because I'm someone who's always telling everyone else, like, when the best things happen is when we're uncomfortable and we're, you know, doing all these things, which I still stand true to every day. I want right now as a reminder to just be that sometimes we can just be.
Yeah.
Be where
just
we're
exist,
at.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Just exist.
No to-do lists, no planners, just to be, to not pick up our phone. I feel like there have been so many, not just, this has been obviously an amazing conversation, but there has been so many great takeaways that I know I will be doing, that everyone can kind of, the time blocks, the not picking up the phone, the walks, that song, I'm going to go look it up. Kelvin.
Yes. Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it. And I am so thankful for your time and just being here with me today and with the National Alliance for Eating Disorders. We are so grateful to have you guys in our family. You're part of our family and can't leave. We love you. And
be here.
We look forward to doing lots more of these chats with you guys. Kelvin, I'm adding you to our text.
Please do. I would love to be a part of it.
You have no choice now. So thank you guys so much. And to everyone out there, thank you for watching. And remember, every moment is a great opportunity to set a new mantra, word, or just be. I think, Bailey, you said it best. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, thank you.
It
was a pleasure to meet y'all.
Bye, you too.
Bye.